Today is a monumental day where we are revealing our new reptile room. We're revealing our new reptile room. Let me give you some context for those of you who don't know. We have 3 reptiles. We have 2 snakes, and we have 1 blue-tongued skink, okay? Our blue-tongued skink, their name is Toaster Strudel. We don't know if Toaster Strudel is male or female. Toaster Strudel came from a facility in California, was housed with all of their brothers and sisters, and the brothers and sisters ate Toaster Strudel's tail off. So he could no longer live with his brothers and sisters. He shouldn't have been with them in the first place, but Toast could no longer live with their brothers and sisters, so Toast was transferred here. That's how we got Toast, the blue-tongued skink. Toast teaches people about pesticide use, primarily, because Toast loves snails and eating insects and stuff in the wild in Australia. And when people use pesticides to poison those bugs and Toast eats those bugs, Toast is also poisoned by the pesticides. So Toast's job as an ambassador here at Alveus is to teach people about bioaccumulation and about pesticide use and how it can affect a lot more than just bugs. That is why we have Toast. That is Toast's story. Patchy is our ball python. Patchy we got from a ball python breeder in Texas. A lot of times people breed ball pythons. They're really, really popular in the pet trade. A lot of times people breed ball pythons for color. And sometimes when you breed for color, you get genetic defects. Patchy was born with only 1 eye. And so Patchy couldn't be sold to pet stores, even though that was the purpose of breeding for color, is this breeder like sells to pet stores, and that's how they make money. Because Patchy was only born with 1 eye, she was donated here to Alveus. So Patchy's job is to teach people about that, about the pet trade, about breeding for color, and about how that can lead to some problems. There's a lot of issues with morphs in the python world, spider morphs, if you guys have heard about that, where they come out with neurological issues. They've got head wobbles, they have eye problems, sometimes they have growth problems, development problems. So Patchy's here to teach people about that and also teach people about the pet trade in general. Ball pythons are poached out of the wild a ton for the pet trade. We had 1 ball python before Patchy that did not survive, that we got from a confiscation from LAX, from California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Somebody tried to smuggle hundreds of baby ball pythons that were poached out of the wild into the States to sell for the pet trade. They shoved them in a bunch of PVC pipe and then tried to ship them via cargo at LAX. A lot of those snakes died in transit, and then a lot of them were placed at facilities like ours. That snake had a really, really rough start and didn't make it. But that was only a couple years ago that snake was smuggled in to the US. So we have a ball python to tell that story and talk about the poaching of wild reptiles for the pet trade. Our last snake and our star for today is Noodle. She is a carpet python, a coastal carpet python more specifically. She came from a facility in California. And her story is that she was somebody's pet, I believe, was donated to the zoo for education. And then the zoo thought that she was aggressive because they only fed her in her enclosure. And then every time they walked by her enclosure, she would strike at the glass. And so I think that the interpretation of that behavior was that she was striking at people every time you walked by, so you couldn't open it because she would strike. But really, it was just that she thought you were going to feed her, because anytime she saw people, she's like, oh, it's time. So they didn't bring Noodle out for education programs. And so when I asked this facility if they were willing to part with any of their reptiles so that I could start my own education program, they said, yeah, there's this one. We don't use her at all. So that's how we acquired Noodle. We have had no issues like that since Noodle got here with striking at the glass or with aggression or anything. She's been nothing but wonderful. You guys have seen her in education programs. She's an 8-foot-long Australian snake. She's pretty big girl, and she's beautiful. Noodle, unfortunately, had a mite infestation. I'm not sure if you guys remember that. You guys have not seen a lot of reptiles on the live cams. And the reason for that is we had a mite infestation. So mites are kind of like, I guess, comparable. I don't know if comparable, but like your dog gets fleas, reptiles can get mites. And so they latch on to the scales of reptiles right underneath the scales, and then they drink their blood. And mites are super, super contagious is not the right word, but when you have a mite infestation, it can jump from reptile to reptile really easily. And so that happened with us. It's a really, really hard thing to control. And it's a hard thing to get rid of, especially because we have our insects and our reptiles in the same place. So we couldn't just like insecticide, pesticide the heck out of it and like try to get rid of the mites because we didn't want to harm the insects that we have that are ambassadors. So there was a lot of fighting that mite infestation for a long time. And so our reptiles have been in these temporary enclosures for a long time while we've been sorting that out. So we've used the mite infestation as an opportunity to rebuild our reptile enclosures. We have been so lucky, both because we have insane support from you guys. You guys are gonna lose your minds, okay? This is actually a huge reveal. The reptile enclosure, the reptile room is insane. We have tried a few variations of enclosures for our snakes, and you guys have seen them too. I know like you guys used to have a noodle cam, and so you've seen what her enclosure used to look like, and we've gone through a few different iterations, just trying to do our best. Sit Up Gaming, thank you for the tier 1 to build like the best home possible. Reptiles are a lot more work than people think. It takes a lot of research to build them habitats that are the absolute best for them. They're so different from like dogs and cats. They have such different requirements and needs for care. You have to monitor their humidity. You have to monitor their temperature. You have to research their substrate if they're an arboreal species and they need climbing space. And on top of all of these things, we wanted it to be as natural as possible. So we wanted to do all this research to have live plants so that it feels super natural for our reptiles. So we are so lucky to have brought Shruti on, as you guys know, all of our animal care staff, prime, absolute prime, incredible individuals. Shruti we brought on, Shruti's partner Lucas, and Shruti both have a ton of experience. Thank you, Rochelle. Hino, thank you. Both have a ton of experience with reptile rescue and reptile husbandry. Lucas, Shruti's partner, is like a god at building enclosures and designing enclosures for reptiles. And so we brought Lucas in to help build out our reptile enclosures, as so lucky to have both of them here. Saved us a ton of time. Toria, thank you for the prime. Saved us a ton of time in research and trying to get these enclosures as good as possible, and as ready as possible and as beautiful as possible for our reptiles, because they absolutely deserve it. I'm so glad that the reptiles are back on, the reptiles are going to be able to be back on cam. Lindsay's here too. Lindsay, I gave Shruti a warning. I texted Shruti and I was like, just a fair warning, I'm going to stall and yap. So if you don't want to hear me yap, you should come back later. I'm so sorry if you were just like sitting here waiting to see Noodle go in there. I should have warned you. I didn't know you'd be watching. It's been, sorry. Anyway, so that is the story with our reptile room. Connor has installed cams in Noodle's new enclosure. So after we put Noodle in her enclosure today, you will be able to watch her explore her new home and enjoy her new home on the cams today, which is very exciting. I got messages from someone pretending to be you on Discord. Guys, just quick PSA, I will never message you on Discord. So if you get a message and you think it's me, it's not. Fair warning. So you guys will be able to see Noodle on the cams today. We are only putting Noodle in her enclosure today. I will explain why when we get in there. Patchy and Toast are going to be moved in very soon. But we're only moving Noodle in today, which is fine because that's the only cam that's set up, so you guys will be able to watch Noodle. So today is about Noodle getting her new home. We have all been very excited about it for a very long time. Are you ready to see our new reptile room? It's time. It's time. We also, Connor, I think I need Connor to come down here at some point to tell you guys more about how this worked, because this was Connor's comms, but we did consult with somebody who builds really awesome vivariums for reptiles about lighting specifically. And so all of our lighting is also set up. That's another complicated thing about reptiles that people don't think you have to think about, and then you do. And then we do have a job before moving Noodle in today, and that's moving isopods and springtails into the enclosure. These are vivariums. So Noodle is going to have some roomies, which is very exciting because we've never done that with reptile enclosures before. So we're gonna do that today. I'm gonna wash my hands because I was just petting a bunch of goats before I handle those guys. Wait, I have another freaking announcement. Chat, how could I have forgotten? The girls told you this on the Alveus channel, right? Okay, you know. Okay, then I'm gonna tell you. We have a new ambassador. We have a new ambassador. Yes, some of the real ones know. Some of the real ones that were watching the Alveus channel, that have been watching the Alveus channel. Yes, we have a new ambassador. Yes, we are adding to our chicken flock. Our new ambassador's name is Betty. Ow. Hello. This is Betty White. Why is she in a cage? Yeah, so she came to us with a lot of medical needs. Her right eye, I don't know if you can tell, is like super sunken in and not functioning, we don't think. And then she has a pretty severe respiratory infection that is being treated right now. So she's in that crate for that reason, because she's getting medication. But we have a lot of hope for her. We think that she'll recover fine. But yes, we are adding to our chicken flock. Are you ready? I'm really excited. Okay. The reveal. We're going in. Drum roll, please. Chatters. I'm gonna flip the camera around. I'm flipping it around. We have drummed enough. Okay, I'm flipping it around. Okay, here it is. Are you kidding me? This is Noodle's new enclosure. Can you believe that? Noodle's new enclosure, and it goes all the way to the ceiling.
Tom Moyer just gifted 5 tiers.
Tom, thank you for the 5. It's beautiful. It's a vivarium. These are all real plants. She's got a water dish. She's got a cam.
Reveal.
Reveal! All this cabinetry was... Lucas built this, right?
Yeah.
He custom built these freaking cabinets. So she's got her misting stuff in here. You need a mic, huh? Do you want to grab one?
Oh, sure.
Connor's in here. Oh!
Is that okay that I join you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Chat, you want to see the other reveal? You want to see the rest of the... You just got a bit of a leak. Oh, thanks.
Is it orange fish? No,
You want to see Patchy and Toaster Strudels enclosures? Drum roll, please.
They're 90% complete. Actually, 99. I gotta do one more thing before we put noodle in there, actually.
This is Patchy. Patchy's up top, right?
Yeah.
This is Patchy's enclosure. Snake plants. Grasses. Wow. Amazing. Beautiful. Freaking rocks. Custom ordered background so she can climb on those ledges. Water. Connor.
Maya. Can I tell you about the lights?
Toaster Strudel's enclosure. Look at all the things to hide in. Look at all the real plants. Grasses. Cork. Chat. P.O. Box cork. It's amazing.
It's coming along. It's great. Can I tell you about the lights?
Rockstars, thank you for the $25 donation. Yes.
The lights replicate sunrise, mid-sun, and sunset. And we have a whole, there's so many lights in here. So many lights. And we got an AZA lighting guy to give us detailed plans for this so we didn't have to figure it out on our own, so we could do it right the first time. And he's going to join us for a chat in the future, which is huge. But we have this lighting schedule here for all the lights, smart lights that start out soft, and then the heaters turn on, and then it slowly ramps up the heat to midday, to the evening, and then we give sunset, and replicates the spectrum of the sunlight in their enclosures. And yes, it is expensive for the power, and we're going solar to offset the amount of light and energy we're using. So, and then we have sensors and meters to test all of the spectrums of light to make sure that they are getting the best light and it's working and it's great. And we have Mister systems.
Let me show you guys the Mister systems. Look. Also, I don't know if Terrible's still around. This was forever ago Terrible donated to support the reptiles in particular, but we did put up this plaque. Ta-da! This was from like a Nick and Milena stream forever ago.
Yep. It's been here. It's just been covered up.
Yeah. So now this is in here. You guys have all your names on it. And then this was donated years ago. I'm not sure where these came from, but this whole frame was donated to us.
Did you tell them why we did the rebuild?
What, with Cosmites?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, check out this Mister system, chat, and look at this fancy handle. Is there a lock on this stuff?
No, it's just heavy. So we did real glass instead of plexi, because it's just going to last way longer and noodle can't get out.
Dude, it's so nice and like.
Did you put the isopods in there yet?
No.
Oh. Kayla!
Okay, look at the Mister systems. No, she's fine. I can do it.
Oh, okay.
Mister systems, they're freaking built in. Lucas freaking built them into the ceiling of this enclosure. Isn't that amazing? And look at all these plants. They're alive, chat. Look. And look at these branches. Where did he get these branches?
Outside.
He got these branches from outside.
Here, yeah.
Dude, he's insane.
He is.
He's insane.
Here, I'll show him up here. So here's the nerdy stuff. We've got a ton of lights, heaters, ventilation fans, vents here. We're using smart surge protectors, and we can like control each individual port individually. We've got GFI protectors on all this, so there's just a lot of lights going on. And the cable management for what it is like how cluttered it is up here is really good. So I'm putting in the last light.
Woo! Last light.
But yeah, it's fantastic. This is AZA quality. Lucas has built enclosures at AZA zoos, reptile enclosures and stuff like that. So we are very lucky to have him and Trudy
Chat, everybody clap for Lucas and Trudy. They're so good.
Yeah, they're very good.
So good. Are you guys ready for the main event? Are you ready? It's time.
Fern subbed for the first time.
Fern, thank you for the sub. Ma'am. I need a step stool. Is there a step stool out there? I can try to use this. I'll just use this, it's fine. Okay. Hi, miss. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Ready the Pumas subbed for the first time.
Thank you for the sub. Okay. Okay. Noodle. This is Noodle, our carpet python. She's beautiful and wonderful and funky and fresh. She's about 8 feet long. Again, this is an Australian snake and is arboreal, which means that she likes to climb. She likes trees. So this enclosure is very exciting for her because there's a ton of vertical space for her to like climb up to and around. For those of you who didn't hear at the beginning of the stream, we got Noodle from a facility in California, a zoo in California, that had her in a really small enclosure, and they fed her in that enclosure. They only fed her in that enclosure and otherwise didn't do much with her. So she was supposed to be an educational ambassador at that zoo, but they thought that she might be aggressive because every time they walked by the glass, she would strike at the glass because she thought she was getting fed. So they would never take her out of the enclosure for educational programs because they thought that she was mean. Turns out, she's not mean at all. She's really nice. She does have a sad face on her head, but that doesn't mean anything. She's been really, really awesome to have here. Our snakes both are to teach people, both of our snakes, we have two, are to teach people about the fact that snakes are actually really, really cool and not everyone has to be afraid of snakes. This is obviously not a venomous species of snake. She is a constrictor, but snakes are only going to constrict you if they want to eat you. And they only want to eat things that are about as large as the largest portion of their body, which is like right here for Noodle. She's not going to strangle me around the neck and then try to eat me. That wouldn't make any sense. But snakes mostly in the wild, I mean, snakes are afraid of you, right? You don't have to be afraid of snakes in the wild. They're really cool. Shall we? Would you like to go check it out?
Scotty Villas donated $5. Has Noodle ended the food strike?
Yeah, Noodle's been eating. Ma'am, where's your head? No hands. What is he doing? What are you doing? Do you want to go in? Look, this is for you. See? She's really like wrapped around right now. Ta-da! Check that out. Ooh. Where's your head at? Ma'am. Look. You see lights up there? Big lights. What do you think? Most of her body is still wrapped around my waist right now. But she's going. She's slowly going. She's going. Noodle cam. This is a weird way to do this. Okay. Okay. She's going. She's doing it. She's checking it out.
Obliterate result for 15 months.
Thank you for the 15 months.
Reptiles.
Noodle, there's a lot more that way, just a heads up. But you do what you want. Chat, the enclosure that Noodle used to live in for almost 10 years, not at this facility, at the last facility she was at, was nowhere near big enough for her to stretch out fully because she's like 8 feet long. It really only had space for a soaking dish where she could be fully coiled up. And like there was a very little room around that dish. So she just spent like all the time coiled up in the soaking dish. Now she has so much room. She's almost all the way. Oh, she's off. Hold on. I'm gonna make this shorter. Ooh. And she's off. Chat, you're too tall. Look at her go. She's exploring. She realized that there's more going on the other way. Yeah. Would you rather be on a tripod if I tried to like get you in there? Let me see what it looks like.
Saltkin 365 result for 52 months. Year-Maya.
Oh, yeah. Saltkin, thank you. Look. What a happy snake. Space, is the cam up on my stream right now?
No,
Oh, okay. Look, Noodle has highs on her. If you look at it this way, it says hi. And then she's got hearts on her. There's a heart right there. And then this says hi. And then this is an A. Ah. Dude, this is so sick. This is so cool. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Where's your head? What are you doing? Resting? She's down there. She also came to us with this tail. She probably had like a bad shed at some point in her life. And it like got caught around her tail, cut off some circulation. Now she's got this funky tail. She's had this since she got here. Dude, she is chilling. It is like super warm under here, so she probably likes that. Now she's a rattlesnake. It does kind of look like a rattlesnake. Only Noodle in this enclosure. Just Noodle and Pixel and Marty. Just Noodle and Isopods and Springtails. Is Patchy also having Martys and Pixels? Yeah. I think that's the plan. What's she doing? Thriving. Pretty much the best case for this move-in.
Tom Moyo donated $5 to charity.
Thank you. Pretty much the best case for this is that she gets in there and is not stressed, you know, and is not like frantic and trying to climb to the ceiling and push on the glass and all that. And she definitely just got in there and chilled. She is content, I think. I think that'll be her favorite spot. I think so too. It's a good basking spot. There she is. Sniff. Sniff. Snakes smell with their tongue. So she was smelling you guys.
Stolen Army _ just gifted 5 tier 1 subs.
Stolen, thank you for the 5. Stare. Thank you. Someone asked if we could feed her live mice. So we don't feed live. We're really lucky that this snake will eat thawed frozen rodents for a couple reasons. One, it's way more humane that way. To be able to humanely euthanize rodents, we order those. We don't euthanize them here. But we get humanely euthanized rodents and then freeze them and thaw them, and she'll eat them that way. So it's much more humane to do that because it's a pretty rough way to go as a live rat to a snake. And then the other thing is rats have really, really strong bites. And so they could do a lot of damage to this snake because they're literally fighting for their life. And we would hate to have her scales get ripped up by getting bit by a rat. She's thriving. She's living life. Everyone, last big thank you to Lucas. I don't think he's watching this anymore, or if at all, but say thank you anyway, because these enclosures are incredible. Truly, they're the reptile enclosures of our dreams at Alveus. So excited about them. We're very excited to move the rest of the reptiles into their new homes. So And say thank you to yourselves for supporting Alveus enough to build out reptile enclosures that are AZA standard. It's freaking crazy. It's so cool. Don't go anywhere. See you guys in a bit. Goodbye.